Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking into a case that, frankly, shocked many people, not just in India, but globally, the Ilanthor human sacrifice case.
It really did capture headlines, sometimes called the Kerla human sacrifice case. Happened back in 2022.
Exactly. And, the headlines were sensational, understandably. But our goal here, as always, is to kind of dig into the source material, look at the facts presented about who was involved, their specific roles.
And crucially, the alleged mechanism, the how and why behind such an act,
Yeah.
based purely on what the reports tell us.
So setting the scene, Ilanthor village, that's in the Pathanamthitta district of Kerala. The arrests happened October 2022. This followed investigations into missing persons.
Right. And from the start, the sources paint a picture not of one group acting together, but distinct roles. You have victims, a main conspirator, and then co-conspirators.
It's important to separate those, I think.
Absolutely. The sources suggest it wasn't, a single unit driven by the same immediate impulse.
Yeah.
Things more like a structured manipulation, allegedly orchestrated by one person from the outside.
Okay, let's start with the victims then. Because understanding who they were sheds light on, well, the vulnerabilities involved. We're talking about two women. Padamam, she was 52, and Rosli, aged 49.
And the key detail from the reports, their economic situation. Both were apparently lottery ticket sellers, working in the Ernakulam area.
Selling tickets day to day, just trying to make ends meet.
And think about that job selling lottery tickets. It involves constant interaction with strangers, right? And they were based away from Ilanthor, where the crime happened.
Which potentially makes them targets. Someone approaches with an offer.
Exactly. An offer of quick money, maybe a job. Their need to engage, their basic economic need, sadly becomes a vulnerability.
Okay, now let's turn to the accused. The reports name 3 people. There's one person identified as the main conspirator.
Mohammed Shafi, also one by the name Rashid, apparently. He seems to be positioned in the reports as the external figure, the instigator.
And then there's a couple living in Ilanthor itself, Bhagaval Singh and his wife Layla.
Right. And Bhagaval Singh, the reports mention, was known locally. A traditional healer, a masseur.
So you immediately see a contrast. Shafi, the outsider, bringing this alleged dark ideology.
And the local couple, Bhagaval and Layla, who had this, seemingly normal trade within the community.
Yeah.
Providing the place, the cover.
It begs the question, though. If Shafi is painted as the manipulator, how does a traditional healer and his wife allegedly get involved in something like human sacrifice? That's a huge leap.
Well, that's the absolute core puzzle presented in the source material, isn't it? It wasn't just about being forced into it, apparently. The narrative suggests they were convinced that they adopted this belief system Shafi introduced.
So he implants this idea.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
He allegedly injects this really dangerous set of beliefs into their lives, using their home as the base, maybe leveraging any existing beliefs they had about rituals or appeasing forces, but twisting it.
Okay, let's try to unpack that alleged mechanism. The why, what was promised.
According to the sources, it was all about material gain, wealth.
Shafi supposedly convinced Bhagaval and Layla that this specific ritual involving sacrifice was the key to wealth, prosperity, and good fortune.
Not just a bit of extra cash.
Yeah.
We're talking transformative wealth, life-changing fortune. That was the alleged promise.
And to make that believable, he couldn't just be some random guy.
No. The reports are specific. He allegedly presented himself as a sorcerer.
A sorcerer, okay.
That word choice is significant, right? It immediately frames it differently. It's not a crime deal. It's presented as tapping into something supernatural, a spiritual shortcut to riches.
And the claim, again, according to reports, was very direct. This ritual, the human sacrifice part, would specifically please supernatural forces.
So it's laid out like a transaction. The couple invests in the ritual, facilitated by the sorcerer.
And in return, these forces deliver the promised wealth.
It really highlights that intersection of, belief, maybe superstition, and profound economic desire. For someone to reportedly accept that this ritual leads to wealth, the desire for that wealth must be overwhelming.
It must almost eclipse everything else.
The reports suggest Shafi was skilled at finding and exploiting that specific pressure point. The intense desire for financial improvement, maybe driven by feeling stuck, and then channeling it through this dark, ritualistic framework he allegedly created.
And you raised the point earlier, the husband, Bhagaval Singh, was a traditional healer.
Yeah.
Did Shafi maybe latch onto that, use that existing world of ritual and remedy to make his claim seem, less alien?
That's a very plausible connection based on the details. Traditional healing often involves its own rituals, its own knowledge systems.
Right.
So Shafi didn't necessarily have to invent a belief system from scratch. He could perhaps graft his violent ideology onto their existing framework, moving them from thinking about remedies for sickness to, well, extreme measures for acquiring wealth.
Like corrupting an existing belief structure rather than creating a new one.
Precisely. The reports frame his role as providing that final horrific piece, convincing them that the scale of the reward demanded the scale of the sacrifice. It's presented as pure, calculated manipulation.
Which leads us, chillingly, to how the victims were brought into this. Once the couple was allegedly on board with the promise,
They needed the victims for the ritual.
and we already touched on their vulnerability, Padmam and Rosalie. Poor working daily jobs. Shafi didn't target people known to the couple, did he?
No, the report suggests he went outside their immediate circle, looked for people on the margins where an offer of money or work would be harder to refuse.
And the deception itself, heartbreakingly simple.
According to the sources, yes. He allegedly arranged for both women to come to Ellen Thor under the guise of offering them jobs or money.
Just basic necessity, a job offer, a bit of cash.
That's the core need he exploited,
Yeah.
not some grand promise, just survival.
And this is where I think analyzing the source material really offers an insight. You see this stark parallel.
Yeah, lay that out.
You have the accused couple, Bhagaval and Layla, allegedly desperate for fortune, for this massive jump in wealth, lured by supernatural promises.
Right, big dreams, big dark methods proposed.
And then you have the victims, Padmam and Rosalie. They weren't looking for magic fortunes. They were lured by the promise of necessity. A job, basic income.
And Shafi, according to the narrative in the sources, is the link between the two, exploiting desperation at both ends of the economic spectrum.
It's almost like a twisted business model. Use the couple's desire for wealth to get the location and compliance.
And use the victim's need for basic survival to get them to the location willingly.
It minimizes risk, doesn't it? If the victim comes expecting a job, there's less immediate suspicion, less resistance.
It suggests a chilling level of calculation, if the reports are accurate. The couple provides the stage and the belief. Shafi allegedly provides the actors and directs the final act.
So let's just quickly recap the core facts as presented in the sources on the Ellen Thor case. Crimes discovered October 2022, Kerala.
2 victims, Padmam and Rosalie, targeted due to their vulnerable economic circumstances as lottery sellers.
The alleged motive for the accused. Extreme wealth, prosperity, supposedly achievable through human sacrifice to please supernatural forces.
And the distinct roles. Muhammad Shafi, the alleged sorcerer, the manipulator, the one who lured the victims.
And Bhagaval Singh and Layla, the local couple, the traditional healer and his wife, providing the place, the cover, and allegedly the willingness to participate for that promised fortune.
What really stands out, I think, is how these reports describe this collision. It's like ancient, dark superstition meeting very contemporary economic anxiety.
Yeah, the idea that a desire for wealth could become so intense, so urgent.
That it makes someone susceptible to these extreme claims from a self-proclaimed sorcerer, allowing that ideology to apparently take root in what seemed like an ordinary household.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about how potent that mix of economic aspiration and, well, manipulative supernatural claims can be, how it could potentially override basic human norms to facilitate something so profoundly disturbing.
A very chilling thought to end on.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.